It's the #2 killer in America, and there's 2 locations working hard this Saturday to raise as much money as possible to fight it. Want to learn what it's about? Stay tuned. Carolina People's bringing it to you. Coming up next. Good morning. Welcome to Carolina People. This morning we're at the Myrtle Beach Herald. We're focused on Breast Cancer Awareness Month, which kicked off on Friday, and we're visiting with Jennifer Walters, the area community field manager for the American Cancer Society. Good morning, Jennifer.
Good morning.
Thank you so much for coming in.
Thanks for having us.
It's funny to kick off on Friday, a big, long month that'll end on Halloween, and to think of such an important focus on breast cancer.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. We're fortunate that October is National Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and it's proclaimed by the President of the United States to bring awareness of this disease, which affects 1 in 3 women in the United States.
1 in 3
well,
women?
It's the top 3 cancers that are diagnosed is breast cancer.
Mm-hmm. What are the other 2, Jennifer?
Other than non-skin cancers, mostly skin cancer, and then there's a close for 3rd and 4th of the other cancers.
So many types of cancers when you think about the impact, obviously, and of course skin cancers, obviously everyone thinks about. You know, I was watching the other day with my daughter a show about, just about putting on suntan lotion.
Absolutely.
It's incredible. They started at a very early age trying to encourage folks to use suntan lotion.
Especially since we live at the beach.
Right, absolutely. Well, you know, the bulk of our viewers are in the PD in southeastern North Carolina, but a heck of a lot of them come down to the beach on a regular basis. Real quick about yourself, Jennifer, before we get into focusing on this Saturday's the Super Suppers on Sunday, but the big sale day at Tanger Factory Outlets, the 1% this Saturday. Are you originally from the area?
No, I'm not. I'm one of the many that are not from this area. I did grow up in the Carolinas. My father was with a major corporation for his entire life, so we got transferred around quite a bit from the Carolinas up to New York and ended up in Washington, D.C.
Is that right?
But they retired here, and I followed them.
Yeah, you followed them to Myrtle. How exciting.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is such a great area, but and some of the time in the Carolinas were spent where?
Charlotte and Columbia.
Oh, really? Okay, so you had both states.
Exactly.
The Palmetto and the Tar Heel State.
Exactly.
That's great. And what about ending up in Washington? Did you stay in that area for long?
About 14 years.
Really?
My father was transferred there when I was in college, and I thought, well, I might as well go to D.C. and follow them, and Dad ended up living in Annapolis, which wasn't too hard for a recent college grad to hang out at the Naval Academy.
That wasn't. That's right.
Dad bought us season tickets that first football season, and we never looked back.
My God, yeah, the ratio there, you know, there's so many towns where there's so many more women than men, but of course Annapolis is probably not one of those. Yeah.
It was a real easy transition for the big move.
Yeah.
And then of course working in Washington D.C. was real exciting.
What did you do in Washington?
I worked in the hotel business. I worked for the Lowe's Corporation, which was at the time the closest hotel to Capitol Hill.
Yeah.
Which was a lot of fun because we had a lot of the political people staying there, and then a lot of celebrities too.
Yeah. What was that like, having all the politicians around and celebrities?
When actually when they were going to call for a vote at the Capitol, we actually had to ring the chimes in our hotel because a lot of the senators and congressmen would be dining at our restaurants.
Right.
So we'd get the call from the Capitol to make the chime, and they had 20 minutes to get back to the Hill to vote. So that was pretty exciting.
That would be.
Yeah.
And working for a big chain like Lowe's, that's L-O-E-W-S,
that's
right?
Correct.
Yeah.
That's correct. Was a lot of fun. It's a small chain, but it's very nice.
Yeah, kind of like a Ritz-Carlton. I mean, you're real upper echelon.
Exactly, and I was the concierge, so I got to deal with the VIPs and the guests.
Oh yeah. Now, is the concierge on the top floor? I mean, did you all have like a club level? Or?
We didn't at the time. My desk was in the lobby.
Right.
So I handled the VIPs, but I also helped people that were tourists visiting Washington, where to go to visit and see all the wonderful sights, help them with dinner reservations, things like that.
I think I saw for a while you were the executive director of the USO in Philadelphia.
The USO, yes, I was. When I was married, I moved up to the Philadelphia area, and I was fortunate enough to be the executive director of the USO, which started my nonprofit career.
Yeah.
And that was a lot of fun, dealing with the military and military travelers and helping the poor kids out that travel and don't know where they're going or what they're doing.
Oh, yeah. That happens a lot, doesn't it?
It does.
Yeah.
It does. We had an airport facility, but we also had facilities at Fort Dix and Willow Grove Naval Air Station. And another part that was really a lot of fun is that we mustered all the kids to boot camp at the Coast Guard Academy down in Cape May. So they would fly in from wherever they lived, and then we would put them in formation right at the airport and march them on a bus to Cape May.
How exciting. Well, of course, that experience in Annapolis probably prompted you well to be set for working with the USO.
Exactly.
And that was your first stint with the nonprofit.
It was my first with nonprofit. But all nonprofits, whether you focus on the military or health issues, they have some underlying currents that are very similar. Program management, volunteer administration, of course, fundraising.
Right.
But there's a common thread throughout. Your focus may be military, health related, or something like Habitat for Humanity, which is helping the underserved.
Yes. And of course, that was your first stint with nonprofits. It was the American Cancer Society your next?
That was my next step. Once I relocated to the Myrtle Beach area, I was fortunate enough to start working with the American Cancer Society as the Community Cancer Control Manager, and now I've progressed to the Community Field Manager, which just means I do program coordination as far as health, education, early detection of cancer, as well as patient services, with a little bit of fundraising thrown in.
Yeah. Well, and I'm sure that has to happen no matter what aspect you are, whether you're just there answering phones. I mean, there's always that aspect, never knowing who's calling,
exactly,
who wants information, who's ready to write a check, just to
or
support.
Who needs some help in the community dealing with their cancer experience.
Very definitely, just having an ear. That's why we got two ears and one mouth, I guess.
Right.
Very important. Well, of course, now you're out on the road a good bit. The community field manager for this chapter represents Horry and Georgetown County.
That's correct.
So you were out, these are two of the largest counties, the fourth and first largest counties in the state.
Exactly, from Loris to Andrews.
Wow. Yeah, that is. That's a deep bit of traveling.
It is.
You got a good car there, Jennifer.
Well, it's a nice big car. It's a boat, but it's comfortable.
It's a boat. That's hilarious. Well, of course, with weather like we had last Friday, a couple days ago, obviously you needed a boat.
Yes, it came in handy that day.
It did. Of course, this Saturday, y'all are expecting, hopefully, great weather for the, obviously, a lot of shopping occurs, good weather or bad. I mean, and surely the factory outlets are shown, they just pound them out.
They do. They do a tremendous job for us. And we've never had bad weather, on our Breast Cancer Awareness Day at the Tanger Outlet Center. I've been personally involved for the last 3 years, and it's been a glorious day all 3 years. This year, we're fortunate that Tanger has 2 outlet centers, so we'll be both at the Route 22 Center and the 501 Center. We'll have information on breast cancer awareness and education materials, and we'll also be helping them out with their little coupons that they sell. At our booth, you can buy a coupon for $1, and that'll give you 10 to 25% off a discount in the participating outlet stores. And you can get that right at our booth. We'll also have pink ribbons to distribute for donation. And then 1% of all the sales that day, Mr. Tanger is donating to the American Cancer Society.
Stanley Tanger is amazing.
Amazing.
They really do. I think I saw last year $600,000 went. I think over the 10 years since 1994, it's been well over $2.5 million.
Absolutely.
But $600,000 last year alone from all the Tanger stores nationwide.
They're our biggest retail supporter, and I believe this year their goal is $700,000.
Wow.
Wow, it's exactly right.
Yeah, we like to use a word like that. If a viewer had to run out to school or to work, what would be the best number to learn a little about the American Cancer Society and to get some breast cancer awareness facts?
It's 1-800-227-2345, and that number is available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. So I always say that if someone is undergoing their cancer experience and they can't sleep at night, say 2 o'clock in the morning, They wake up, they don't want to bother their caregivers because it's hard enough for the caregiver to get a good night's sleep, but they have some questions or some worries. Call that number, 1-800-227-2345. There's someone available there to talk to you, to provide you with information. We are the most respected resource for information, and we have the latest information on trials, treatment options, things of that nature. It's a wonderful resource.
Am I correct, the local number, 843-213-0333, if someone wanted to learn about this Saturday's, obviously 1% day, the big sale day, as well as the Sunday Super Supper?
Exactly. That's our local office,
Okay.
and we're open from 8 to 5, Monday through Friday.
Okay.
And we have a wonderful resource for the people there, education materials, as well as patient resources. We provide free wigs, mastectomy bras, prosthesis, all free of charge to anyone undergoing the cancer treatment. We have wigs and scarves and hats that the local ladies create for us, and it's wonderful.
That's a great commitment, and of course to have that resource. Now, they could call the 800-227-2345 number to find out where you all are located, or obviously they can call you at a 843-213-0333. Do you all interface much with the Cancer Society groups in the PD area or southeastern North Carolina?
Absolutely. In fact, those staff people are located in the Myrtle Beach office as well.
Oh, wow.
We represent all the way to Scotland and Robeson counties in North Carolina,
Right.
down through Florence, Williamsburg counties, over to Georgetown and Horry counties, the Darlington, Marion, Marlboro,
Right.
Dillon,
really
all
match
that area.
Our coverage area. That's
exactly,
amazing.
exactly. That's the region that's represented by the Myrtle Beach office. However, those staff members are in the counties, so you might not find them in the office if you call, but we can get a message to them if you need.
That's vital. Jennifer, share with the viewers a little about, let's get into some questions about breast cancer, if you don't mind. How many women are affected by breast cancer?
About 216,000 women will be diagnosed with breast cancer this year.
In 2004?
Yes, sir.
Wow.
Yeah, and that's nationwide, not just in our PD area, but that is a national statistic.
And of course, you mentioned earlier that other than skin cancer, it would be the most common cancer among women.
Among women, yes, it is.
That's amazing. What about who's most at risk for developing breast cancer?
Gender and age are pretty much the biggest determining factors for developing breast cancer. Most women will be diagnosed over the age of 50. And there's also some incidents or some statistics that if there's incidents of breast cancer in your family, you may have a higher risk. However, there are many women, unfortunately, that are diagnosed with breast cancer that don't have any family history.
None whatsoever.
None
yeah,
whatsoever.
Obviously there has to be a first time.
Yeah.
Golly, what about the importance of early detection? Does it really matter?
Early detection is your best prevention, and we recommend that women in their 20s and 30s have a clinical breast exam about every 3 years from a healthcare professional. Make it part of your annual physical routine, and then women over 40 should have a mammogram every year.
What is a mammogram?
Mammogram is basically an X-ray that detects malformations in the breast or any irregularities in the breast, but it's a very low dose of radiation, so no one should be scared to have a mammogram.
Okay, okay. And those are, of course, one of the earlier questions that I saw, there was a great fact sheet the American Cancer Society puts out, and I'm sure all your staff and volunteers are probably thoroughly aware of so many of the facts. One of the early facts was, can men get breast cancer? I'm sure a lot of guys always wonder that, and I know that's something that is thrown out, but it was one that was, I think it was second or third question on the fact sheet.
Exactly. Unfortunately, breast cancer is not gender specific. Men can get breast cancer. I personally know of about 3 men in my life that have had breast cancer, so it is something that men should pay attention to too. And we all know our bodies better than anybody else does, so if you notice any irregularities in your breast, please see a healthcare professional.
Yeah. When should women, I think you answered that, but when should women have their mammograms?
Every year after the age of 40.
Okay, okay. Does mammography detect all types of breast cancers, Jennifer?
It's our biggest asset of technology. There are other tests and diagnostic that we are looking forward to doing more regularly, such as an MRI, a PET, or ultrasound.
So it is not the only technology currently used to screen for cancer?
Not at all.
Okay.
Not at all. But it's the most common.
That's so fascinating. What do you think women should do other than, what is some of the advice the American Cancer Society provides for women to do other than getting mammograms?
They should be checked by a healthcare professional on a regular basis.
Right.
Usually an annual physical is our best recommendation. And also to look for irregularities of the skin, such as moles, especially with the amount of people the time we spend in the sun in this area. So skin cancer is very, very easily detected and easily cured if you can find it as well.
Yeah. Jennifer, are breast cancer screenings normally covered by insurance to the best of your knowledge?
Yes, they are. They are covered by Medicare. Most insurance companies do provide mammogram coverage. We also have a program in our area called the Best Chance Network that does provide free mammograms and cervical exams for women between the ages of 47 and 64 who meet certain income requirements. So if you're in that pocket where you don't have any insurance coverage, please call us. We could probably help you out. And under the Best Chance Network, if a woman is diagnosed with breast cancer, we will provide for their treatment.
When should women normally perform the breast self-examinations?
They should do it monthly,
Okay.
after or halfway through their cycle.
Right.
And you should do it lying down. I know there was some previous recommendations that said to do it in the shower because you're always in the shower, but our new recommendations are to lie down on the bed so that you can feel better.
What if they detect a lump, Jennifer?
Then talk to your healthcare professional immediately.
How about some of the signs and symptoms of breast cancer that folks may not normally think of and some of the ones they would think of?
Well, if you see some irregularities in the field, the way your breast feels, or see any sort of discharge, I would recommend seeing a healthcare professional immediately. We're a non-medical group, so we can't really provide medical advice. All we can do is recommend that you see your doctor.
Golly, how invaluable. You know, you think of the impact, of course, that so many folks go through, whether it's loved ones or persons directly, and you must see that on such a regular basis from all types of cancer.
Exactly. The American Cancer Society understands that cancer does not discriminate, and neither do we. So we try to help people with all forms of cancer. We don't leave the men out for prostate cancer. We have a lot of programs in this area to benefit them as well. But as a matter of fact, in Horry County, one of the third cancer for mortality is pancreatic. And I believe that's due to the fact that it's not detected early enough. So we try to reach out to everyone as far as whatever kind of cancer they're undergoing, and we fund a lot of research to benefit those other cancers as well.
Oh yeah, Chris, I think it's Chris Richardson was with us not too long ago, focused on the Cattle Barons Ball, the upcoming Cattle Barons Ball, and obviously from Grand Strand Urology was talking about the impact that pancreatic or other types of cancer have on men here in the area.
And Grand Strand Urology is a great partner for the American Cancer Society in providing their prostate screenings and seminars, and we support them through our literature for those events as well.
Oh yeah, very definitely. So many great groups. Coastal Cancer Center, Grand Strand Urology, so many. I'm sure you couldn't name them all. You think about the impact, of course, for you, traveling in Horry and Georgetown County. How about some of the experiences you've had, Jennifer, in the last few years in your involvement with Cancer Society? Obviously not naming names, but things that really stick out in your mind that continue to keep you motivated every day.
Well, I think the patients that I have met have really enriched my life. They've become wonderful volunteers for the American Cancer Society, and they've just been valuable friends that I've been able to make and develop. As a matter of fact, I had a lady call me last week, and she was my first cancer patient that I dealt with here in Horry County, and she called to tell me that her grandson of 11 months old is now undergoing a rare form of cancer.
Oh, wow.
And it was a very heart-rending experience, and we're going to try to help them out with some things for him, but it's a cycle. And I treated the grandmother or helped the grandmother, and now it's the grandson. So it was so great to hear from her, but again, heart-wrenching to why I heard from her.
Right.
And then going into some of the underserved communities out in, the rural areas have been some very rewarding experiences. We do a lot of health outreach, for example, in Andrews and King Street and up in the Longs area, and doing seminars where they really come out in full force and are eager to learn.
Sure, we've seen that with the American Heart Association, which I'm really active with. Obviously, the #1 and #3 killer of cancer, #2.
Exactly.
You know, these top 3 killers here in Horry and Georgetown County. Of course, you know, you hear about the stroke belt of America, and obviously the PD area is the belt buckle. I mean, it is. It's a real deal. The impact that has been foreseen, and obviously cancer has been a dramatic taker of lives in our area.
It has, and when we go out into these areas, we try to recommend healthy lifestyles because choices you make in your 20s and 30s can greatly reduce your risk of cancer in the ages 50 over when it's mostly diagnosed. So we recommend eating 5 servings of fruits and vegetables a day, doing moderate to regular exercise, limiting tobacco use, which is really tough in this area.
It would be, and obviously a lot of tobacco farmers here, you know, that keeping their livelihoods, it's probably difficult. I mean, some potential conflicts there, and I think I saw that you're a member of Breathe.
Yes, I am.
The group, the Coalition to Limit Youth Access to Tobacco. That must be difficult at times.
Well, it is, but it's a program to educate the community and try to get kids not to start smoking. Most kids start smoking at the age of 11 or while they're in middle school. So if we can, and the tobacco companies do market to that age group very heavily. That age group and also freshmen in college.
How do they market to them?
Golly,
what are some of the ways to reach 11-year-olds?
Their messages are really hip.
Yeah.
Sometimes they're a little angry, exactly, because kids are at that defiant stage. And then you see the warm, fuzzy smoking control messages that the Philip Morris and the tobacco companies put out that are real warm, fuzzy. Kids don't respond to that warm, fuzzy. They respond to that militant, angry kind of message. It's like they put the warm, fuzzy message to satisfy the parents, but they put the hip message to satisfy the kids and to entice them. So it's a real interesting study in marketing and how they go about it, and they have big dollars to do it as well.
Yeah, they do. I guess with so many international sales now, I guess they're really making sure they don't have the same type of regulations potentially. Not to say anything negative, obviously, about tobacco companies.
No, not at all. But we do try to enforce, like the local communities, to enforce tobacco buying laws. For example, we take kids out every summer and have them buy cigarettes and give them the money to go buy it, and then we write up the, we're hiding. They go in, so that it's a blind sting. So we can monitor those markets and restaurants and places that do sell tobacco to
You're doing
kids.
that with the police?
Well, actually, under DHEC guidance.
Right. That's very interesting, Jennifer. Of course, you think, I think I also saw you were a member of the board of directors for Theater Republic in Conway. Do you do a lot of acting, Jennifer?
No, I'm behind the scenes.
Really?
Way behind the scenes.
We had a guest, Kylie, about 3 weeks ago, focused on the upcoming Heart Walk, and she was in Susan Mungo, who was in the best little whorehouse in Texas. No, I'm kidding. It was just a great interview. And thrilled over there.
Well, it was a great production. We were very proud of that, and it made a lot of money for the theater, which was great. We were sold out more nights than we weren't, and it was a fun show.
That's great. Yeah, what got you behind the scenes at Theater of the Republic?
I had some friends in the community, and that I worked with. One friend of mine is a physical therapist that specializes in lymphedema therapy, and I had helped out with her on some breast cancer awareness things, and she says, you really should come and get involved with the theater, give you a break. It satisfies your nonprofit and your volunteer interest, and it doesn't have to deal with health issues. So I said, okay, well, let me try it out. And it's been a lot of fun. It's been a whole new door opening into my life as far as theater is concerned.
It must be exciting to be behind the scenes.
It is. It is. But I can use the skills that I've already developed in marketing the programs for the American Cancer Society to kind of translate over to the Theater of the Republic and help them out.
Oh, yeah. I think I also saw you're real active with the Grand Strand Optimist Club, which Hilda had gotten you into.
Absolutely. Hilda is probably our biggest sponsor of new members for the Optimist Club, and it's an organization that deals with children's issues, so it's a lot of fun we go out and help out with the Horry County Shelter Home, and we have an oratorical contest, which you're probably interested in since your family background is some of what we're teaching.
That's right,
exactly.
Absolutely. The Sun News is active with that, sure.
And we have an essay writing contest that we do for kids and provide scholarships. So it's a lot of fun. We have a lot of fun, but we do a lot of good work, too.
Oh, yeah, very definitely. And speaking of good work, again, we get back to Tanger and their commitment this Saturday. We just got a couple of minutes, Jennifer. Share with the viewers real quick, a viewer, let's say, in Laurinburg, who's thinking about coming down to Myrtle this weekend, who wants to be down, good weather or not. They can come in for 2 Great events on Saturday and Sunday, both to benefit the American Cancer Society.
Absolutely. Saturday is Breast Cancer Awareness Day. We'll be out in full force providing breast cancer information. You'll have the scratch-off cards that you can purchase from us for $1. They'll give you 10 to 25% off of participating outlet stores. We'll do some remote broadcasts on the radio to promote it. Sunday, 11 to 4, we've got our Super Supper at the 501 Center only. Saturday will be at both centers, but Sunday's 501, come out for the soup, $5 admission, $3 for children under 12. You get to taste all the wonderful soups. I understand you even get the recipes.
Yeah, recipe book.
And then there'll be raffles that day, too. They'll pair up the participating outlets with the different soups to try to make it a lot of fun and do raffles, and we'll be out there also.
What keeps you ticking with the American Cancer Society, Jennifer?
Oh, cancer touches everyone's lives. I remember at one point, about 10 years ago, they said 1 in 10 people have been touched by AIDS. And I said, but 1 in 1 person's been touched by cancer. Everyone has a friend or loved one or family member that has undergone cancer and knows what they go through. And to see the courage of the cancer patients that I deal with, to know that they're going to get through it. They just fight every single day they're in treatment, and they know there's a light at the end of the tunnel, and there's a lot of survivors in this area to prove it.
Absolutely. Jennifer, thanks so much to be with us this morning.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Stay tuned to more Carolina People with Jennifer Walters coming up next. Some of our viewers have been catching us more than 2 years now, and they know it's a non-commercial show. You know it's a non-commercial show, but we got to say, Tanger, Tanger, Tanger. This is a big Tanger weekend. They are stepping out in a really big way to benefit the American Cancer Society. You can call ACS. Give them a call at 843-213-0333 to learn about what Tanger is doing this Saturday, October 9th, at both of their locations in Myrtle Beach. They're giving 1% of their total sales at the factory outlet stores to benefit the American Cancer Society. Doing it nationally. Last year, nationally raised more than $600,000. They're shooting for $700,000 this year. Get out there, support them. And, of course, on Sunday, the Super Supper out on 501. You can get out there and support the American Cancer Society by buying some soup for $5 from tons of area restaurants. There's a great opportunity. Also, you can catch Executive Chef Kim Lloyd this Wednesday right here at 7 a.m.